FM.com. Express yourself live on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Today is Friday, of course, and of course, you know, tomorrow is the funeral of Pope Francis, and a lot of people are going to be in Rome. I understand you had thousands, tens of thousands of people who saw him in the casket. And Bahamians tomorrow, I understand from the latest report that I got 50 heads of state are going to be in Rome. And this is a very important funeral that is going to be seen, I guess, all around the world. And it's going to have an impact. The church is going to have an impact in Europe and the rest of the world. And of course, the war between Russia and Ukraine is still there, right out in the open. They are not talking peace while they're supposed to be preparing. It seems as if the talks may have broken down. I hope that they would be able to get it together because innocent people are dying, Bahamians. This is the problem with war. Innocent people perish because of decisions made by those in charge of the nations. They still live. They go home and eat, drink, and have fun while people are dying in the streets. I believe the president of Ukraine was in Europe at the time when this attack was made on Kiev, and a number of people perished. Some people were injured. And apparently, from what I understand, Ukraine is being pressured to give up some territory, which I don't think they want to do. But we'll have to watch and see what happens because there are many hot spots all around the world. You look at the conditions in Haiti. Haiti is in serious difficulty. And you have problems with other Caribbean nations. Sometimes we don't pay attention to what's happening close at home. And of course, we have to pay attention to the problems that are occurring in the United States, those internal issues where Americans are now thinking differently about their president, whom they gave such a massive landslide. Say they want him to be their president. Bahamians, we need to learn from the election of President Donald Trump. Be very careful who you send to do your business. You may not like what they may do. You have to know ahead of time. Can you trust that individual? Can you rely on them? Now, see, in the Bahamas, we have a track record. There's also a track record of Donald Trump as well. But people are not paying attention to that. They wanted to get rid of Biden. They said all kinds of things. And even today, I am still getting talk show hosts. They are on the air bashing Mr. Biden. He's out of power. Been out of power for more than a month now. And yet still they're not telling us what Mr. Donald Trump intends to do for the United States. And they, of course, call him leader of the free world. I would have thought he's just president of the United States of America, not president of the free world. All of those nations have their own leaders. Anytime when you take a mortal human being who has egos, who believes that he is perhaps better than other people, and put that individual on a pedestal, you're asking for trouble, Bahamians. Do not worship the human flesh and blood and skin and bone. The man is still mortal. He's not God. He's still saying he wants Canada to be the 51st state of the United States. The Canadians are not going to settle for that crap. You could forget that one. And the Canadians came out in large numbers in this election they're having there in Canada for a new government. And the people turned out in very large numbers in the event leading up to. You have, like in the Bahamas, we have certain people voting before the actual election. Well, they have the same thing in Canada. And referred to the Prime Minister of Canada's governor, which is an insult because they have a Governor General for Canada who represents the monarchy. Just like we have a Governor General here who represents the monarchy. But I think the Canadians will fight back because they're not going to be the 51st state of the United States. You're not going to see that anytime soon. But when you allow a mortal human being to believe that whatever he wants he could get, watch out. That's a dangerous person to work with. You're not to be worshiping flesh and blood, skin and bone, and giving that particular personality everything that they want. See, even the courts got problems with him. And so he's going to be caught up in all kinds of situations where his 4 years will end and very little will get done for the development of the American people. You're going to have a lot of frustrated people, even as it is now. Look what the Americans are saying about him, domestically and internationally. Prior to the election, we had thought that Kamala Harris was in the lead. But somehow, just prior to the election, things changed. And now the media cannot seem to stop talking about Biden. What are you talking about him for? Let's talk about Donald Trump, the current president. And let us understand what he wants to do in the country. Now, I want to get too much onto Donald Trump because we got to talk about things in the Bahamas. We got a government in power right now. We have the prime minister. And let me say this to the Bahamian people. When it comes to international events, we should stand with the prime minister. You may not always agree with what he says, because I don't. I can tell you that right off the top. He says some crappy things at times, which are not constitutionally sound. His government does the same thing. His ministers do the same thing. But when it comes to international relations and him standing up and speaking for the Bahamas, we should stand with him. Even though you may disagree with him, because one woman said, because he violates the Constitution, of course he's violated the Constitution. She can't support him. There's a way to deal with people who are given authority and violate the Constitution. And it's not just taking power away from them. You got to do more than that. Much, much more. Taking the power away is only a part of the solution, not the whole solution. No, sorry. The damage, the pain that they have caused the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and I think about this all the time, those persons who fought so hard, who are not here today, if they were to wake up right now and see the state of this country, they'd be shocked. They said, no. We didn't fight for this. Not this crap we're saying today. No, we didn't fight for that. But that's how we have allowed our leaders to just pull us right down to where we are today. We didn't correct them. We didn't say, Mr. Prime Minister, that's not right. We didn't say, Mr. Attorney General, stop talking crap, stop talking foolishness, and deal with the law as is. Well, he ought to know better. Does he have two citizenships? I don't know, Bahamians. But we know he was caught with that. Is he an American? Is he a Bahamian? Or is he both? We have not seen any hardcore documentation that he has renounced his American citizenship. We don't. Word of mouth is not good enough. We've had problems with this man before, and we have problems with him now. It doesn't change. Somebody decide to pull him in and say, we can make you Attorney General. We remembered what happened the first time. And the man say, he had to go make some money. Leave the people of that particular constituency, left them right there. Go on his merry way. People put their personal interests above the interests of the nation. Them kind of people, you don't trust them. We already saw by the actions of people what they really are like. The two political bodies in this country have a track record, goes all the way back to 1973, July the 10th, and even before then. From January the 10th, 1967, you're looking at 58 years. And by July of this year, it'll be 58 and a half years. I heard one caller on another show today. I was disappointed to understand that he's not in good health, Bahamians. I was very disappointed, and I heard that. But he himself testified that he's not well. And he has Dr. Sands, who is his specialist to deal with his heart. He has a serious heart problem. So he wanted to say some things, and the host allowed him to speak on the radio. He said, if you don't hear from him in the future, you'll know why. But we got to pray for that particular individual. He's called Sparky, so that the Lord could heal him. And he's has some other problems with his health. I think he said he's 74 years of age. Now, 74 is not old, you know. That's a very young age. He's just starting to live at that time. He said he has a I think his great-grandson. That's what he said. And I'm sure he wants to be around to play with his great-grandson and his grandchildren and his children. We have to take good care of our health, Bahamians, because too many of our men are disappearing. Too many. Young men and those who are reportedly old. 74 is not old to me. You're just starting to live at 74. But some people are on their way out before they reach 74. They're in their 20s and they're on their way out. They're in their teens and on their way out. And I said, if we keep going at this rate, National Insurance is going to have a problem trying to keep that fund going, because you're going to have the people, the working population, to contribute to the fund, Bahamians. You can wait till we get in danger zone, then you realize, well, no more checks coming through. Is that the way we're going to play it? It is a very dangerous thing to play with fire. You see it there? Don't touch it. I remember my mother and father always told us, we used to go window shopping. Daddy had this big blue car, and all the pigeons would be in the back trunk. And the baby, my baby brother, would be in the front with my mother. And we were told, you go in the store, you touch nothing. I was in Kelly's just yesterday, and I remembered my daddy told me. I was looking at some things, and Daddy said, don't touch that. Just like he was right there. So I ain't touching nothing. The point is that we could train our children to behave a certain way when they go into these people's shop. You save yourself a lot of trouble. Children running up and down, screaming, doing all kind of crappy things. We think it's cute. I remember in grade school, we had to fold our arms, put our finger on our lips for 45 minutes. One period. 45 minutes, Bahamians. I don't know if they do that in school today. You just sit quietly and you unfold your hands and take your finger off your lip. You get a good whack. And the teacher would discipline you for stepping out of line. Now, some of you may think that's old-fashioned. Children need to learn to sit quietly for a period of time instead of having them run around doing foolishness and nonsense. So even today, as young as I am, I still remember that. And I could sit for more than 45 minutes and be quiet. Of course, this is open line Friday, and of course, they're going to open up the line for you to talk about anything you want to discuss. Hopefully, there'll be issues of national importance, constituency issues, issues that affect the nation. You may want to talk some politics. I know the political season's on. They call it the silly season. I don't know why. Why would you call that silly season? You're about to elect. Let me just say this to you. I disagree with the comment about silly season. We trivialize our parliamentary system. That's the problem with us as Bahamians. We don't even understand the damage we're doing to ourselves. You call an election season the silly season. Give me a break, man. How we get all mixed up like that? Choosing a parliamentary representative is a very serious matter. You trivialize it. 52 years has already passed. Well, coming July make 52 since independence. And Bahamians, they got to get serious, because I heard Sparky said on the other radio show, we must get the right people in that House of Assembly. That's what he said. You have others who are saying the same thing. We must get the right people in the House of Assembly. Then, of course, you get the right people in the Senate. And then the right people in all those different positions that are out there. Some of them, you got to cancel them. They don't need them at all. You got all kind of boards and committee and authorities and all kind of crappy things that have been created. Paying out the public money to people who don't work. They just sit there and draw the check, Bahamians. And people out here who are suffering in these communities, in these constituencies, particularly these black belt constituencies. Then he made a statement, but I won't repeat on air because I'll be just as bad as him. But I'll just rephrase it this way, and perhaps you might understand where I'm coming from. You have racial tensions in the United States. That has been so for decades. In the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you may have certain people who may be in different classes where they associate and talk to. The Constitution allows for all of that. I do not believe, and I've seen it all, I do not believe there's any ill will as far as pigmentation of skin is concerned between what we call our white Bahamian and colored Bahamians. Now, they have their differences. We wouldn't want to see any kind of untoward behavior because someone has a different pigmentation of skin. Because that's all it is, you know. Nothing more, nothing less. My mother graduated in 1943, but was then the Bahamas General Hospital as a registered nurse. She did her courses, which was 4 years, she did it in 3 years. Top of the class. And she would always tell us, because she dealt with all manner of people, those County Joes and those who are colored. Ain't no difference. So you need to talk to people who've been through these experiences, and they can tell you what's the difference. Pigmentation of the skin means absolutely nothing. Even God says in his word, circumcision and uncircumcision is nothing. It's the content of your character, Bahamians. That's what is important. Not the pigmentation of your skin. I'm delighted we don't have those kind of racial flares in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I've seen it all from 67 right on up to now. So we have to be very careful. Yes, there may be differences of opinion, because one MP made some remarks which were not in good taste. And some people got very angry about that. We have problems in this country that need solving, Bahamians. We need to concentrate on solving some very serious national issues which have never been solved over the 52-year span. And we have constituency issues which have never been solved over that same 52-year span. But the people say they want to run things. Why give power to these people who have shown you in no uncertain terms that they can't handle it? The evidence is overwhelming. And some of you find it difficult to grasp that and face it because you gave them all this authority, all this power, massive landslide of seats on both sides. Still we get nothing. Still we end up at zero. What the heck are you going to do about it? You can keep doing this crap for the next 52 years. Is that what we want, Bahamians? Well, Sparky said it today on the show. He said some other things, which I'll just leave that alone. But the point is, there are others who see that, we've been marking time for 52 years. They're spinning wheels, Bahamians. You know how many people lived and died over that 52-year span, hoping for a better country, and they never saw it, Bahamians. They went to their graves, and they ain't see it. Bahamians, we have to do better in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We've got to make sound decisions and good judgments. Now, I am going to make sure that I go overboard in helping the Bahamian people to choose according to the Holy Bible and according to the Constitution. Those are the two things I can be using: the Constitution and the Holy Bible. If we were to do that, Bahamians, we will be able to find the right people to send to the House of Assembly. But if you don't want to do that, you want to listen to all this crap from these other people, then that's what you can get. You've been getting that for 52 years. You want another 52 years of this foolishness? Now it has gotten so worn out on people. They say they're tired. But you have to do something about it, Bahamians. You can't just talk about you're tired and leave it for these thousands and thousands of children. Sparky got great grand now. He wants a future for that great grand, and I don't blame him. We have some great grands in our own family, and I want to see a future for them, and they can have it. Bahamians, we got to get serious because we have a nation to save, man. We can't leave it like this. So I'm going to be calling on you to help me to make that a reality. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. This is Open Line Friday. The lines are open. I want you to just listen. You got to call and help me. 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Babies, you got to do something now. Okay, let's take action and save the Commonwealth Bahamas. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Bahamians, this is Open Line Friday. You don't want me to talk for 2 hours, ladies. I could talk till Christ comes back, if you mind me. I always tell my guests that all the time. Don't mind Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. They ain't short on no words, He'll talk till Christ comes back. The lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. We want you to call in. We be discussing national issues. Of course, we know that the Pope is going to be buried tomorrow. And I guess the whole world will be watching that funeral tomorrow. I'm not sure what time it would be, but we have to understand that this is a very important historical point in the Catholic Church. And there's sadness among Catholics because they've lost their leader. And of course, I understand that a new leader will be elected to run the Catholic Church. But in the meantime, the church has to still function. You have people running the church, even though they don't have a pope. But it will take some time to get the new pope installed. So, Bahamians, the lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. You may want to talk some politics today. FNM, PLP, well, you can wait with that. I ain't got no problem with that. But what I'd like for you to do, which you have not been doing, you ain't giving me no solutions to any problems. I told you constituency problems. You've been living there for more than 30 years and you don't know. I talk about national issues. You can't give me an answer on that. What major national problems have been solved by the government of the Bahamas over the last 52 years? You mean to tell me there's no one in this country who could give me a clear answer to that question? You know how long I've been asking that question? I can't get a clear answer from anyone. That means we got to wake up, man. We need to wake up. Sparky said it all on that other show today. And he's not in the best of health. That's the part that saddened me. Because I've been getting some sad news of some people that I knew. They didn't tell me they was going anywhere, Nobody gives you any advance notice. Hold on, caller, don't go nowhere yet. No one gives me any advance notice. Say, Professor, I'm going today or tomorrow. And when you all decide to go, you got to let me know ahead of time so I won't be shocked. Because I was shocked about a number of persons who I knew personally. They slept, gone right out, and they ain't say nothing. Say, Professor, I'm going to be leaving tomorrow or today or whatever. They're just gone. And it has saddened me. I mean, I heard what happened to Sparky. His health isn't failing him. And let's pray for Sparky, man, because he's 74, he said. So he ain't want to go nowhere now. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor, I thought I tuned into the wrong show because when I called, you were talking about the Pope.
Yes, I was, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Pope getting buried tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the date? Professor?
The date?
Yes, the 25th.
25th, yeah.
Of the 25th
2025.
year. And April, the Fool's Day.
April the 25th.
Yeah, just April, the Fool's Month.
The Fool's Month? Who said that's the Fool's Month?
Because my dad was born on the 1st.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Let me leave that right there.
No, he's proud of. Because you don't judge people by those things.
No, you don't.
No, man. The man who knows he's a fool may be the smartest man in the world, and the smartest man in the world most likely he's a fool.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ain't that true? Come on, man, because it takes humility, and my dad used to say that every April.
Well, a humble man, you could work with that one, but
I gotta learn how to be humble.
Well, they got one on one pedestal. He's so high up on that pedestal, he believed he could buy anything in the world.
Exactly. And
he can say anything in the world.
And that's what
everybody's supposed to bow and thank him. But the courts are not going to go along with the crap that he's spewing out.
But Professor,
Yes, sir.
isn't that what success takes? Arrogance,
But let's put it this way.
ego.
Carnal nature. That's carnal
It's kind of
nature.
lazy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does see you could be a successful person.
And God said he hates them people most.
No, he hate the wickedness.
But didn't he say a proud person? Something like that.
Yeah, that's correct. A proud look.
Right, but he loves humility.
Yes, he does.
Absolutely. But who will you vote for? Yes, Professor. Listen, let me tell you something. One time I was vying for a union situation. You know, I'm a musician. I think.
Yeah, you are a musician. That's right. Yeah.
And I wanted to make a difference in the union because I saw it was going crazy in the Entertainers Union. You see what it came to today?
Yeah.
We have none, nowhere.
No way at all. How come they let the union fall apart like that? At a critical time like this?
Because of the name we just suggested, pride and ego. Man, let me tell you something. I'll say this. I don't know if it's got anything, but I'll try to be quick as I could. But I want to get back to the Pope. You can't miss the Pope.
No.
No, but when
That's
I was like 17, I was in a place called Pythram High School. I don't even remember this one. Remember this place, the name of Government High School about the constituency it was in. But see, that I didn't know Pythram was a white man. And when I did a song about Pythram, and Charles Scott used to play it a lot, I got a lot of feedback from it. But it's all about racism, actually, because a lot of people felt that, you shouldn't be singing from a white man who kept us in slavery all these years. But as we speak every day on this show, who we are following now? None of us black people. And they're not making any difference. As a matter of fact, they're doubling down on us.
It has gotten worse.
Yes, absolutely.
Very much so.
It's absolutely. And it's all about pride and ego.
Yes, that's correct.
Let me tell you something. I was favoring the F&M. Not so much. One day, Diagla came by my place and he said, the F&M is having this thing on Marquis Street. And I lived in the area at the time, and I say, I'll pass by, you got free wine? Yes, I love wine. And I went by, and guess what, Professor? Everyone was wearing a black suit or a blue suit, a dark color suit, in the heated sun.
Wow.
Yes. And I started to note these things about Bahamian politicians and politics, that if you want to be respected, you got to dress up like a dead man in a coffin.
Okay. All right. I understand where you're coming from.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
Now, a dead man in a coffin can't feel.
No.
But he looks respected. But now, if you want to live and function like that, for some reason, Bahamians would. I'm going to get to the arrogance right now, you see. Because when I was there, those guys will walk, I'm talking to these young guys. That's why I resented one time a guy called into you, say he's a what do you call it? He's a professional politician. He went to school for that. And I said, how can that be? A politician should come from an activist with a meaning and a purpose to help his people. Then he becomes a politician. You can't go there and say, listen, I just want this $100,000 and all the perks that comes along with it. And then you go dress up in the hottest seat and see, I could take this in the burning sun. I mean, I think it's crazy, but that's the way we go. And they have the same attitude. Listen, Professor, do you know that every politician from Penland down to Brad Davis will fight you physically right now? And I'm talking physically. Pick up a rock and hit you. Bodie used to say that on his show. He said that the way Hubert Ingram was brought up, if he said somebody throw a rock at him, Otland Bodie. Now, and he said this long before he got to your show. I'm not saying your show cost this, but I'm going to get back to the Pope in a second. The mentality, the mentality of a politician is so low. It'll scare you. And that's why the reason why I didn't want to get into politics, because when I went to try to help the union, Everybody came to me nose to nose, ready to literally punch and fight me. That's how you get to be Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Ask all of them. They're ready to do violence, and they will do evil stuff. And you hear about the FNM and all this brought to kill people, and all the things that happen under Perry Christian. Everybody. It is the God's truth, Professor. We just got out of the Pope died. 2 week and all the Lent and all that beautiful stuff, right?
Yes.
But if the truth will set us free, you will know that the politician is the lowest individual among us. And he'll do anything to be on top. And I mean that part. I'm not holding words right here. They'll do anything to do on top, and they will intimidate and still do it while they're on top. But for some reason, the world, not just the Bahamas, we pick them from Hitler, Mussolini.
Yes.
You name Hitler, even Hitler. Not Hitler, I'm sorry. Castro. I used to like Castro, but he got a name behind him. The guy, Duvalier.
You got Idi Amin.
Idi Amin. Right down to Mr. Trump.
Yes.
Trust me, he'll take you in the park right now and punch you. So, I'm with God, no.
Yeah.
I'm with Jesus. You don't do this. But anyway, before I go, I hope I didn't disrupt things. So let's get back to the Pope. The Pope is an individual. And when we give these people the name the Pope, like we put the president and the prime minister, any leader of any country, they all men, like you say, we all have carnal minds,
Yes,
right?
we do, yeah.
The Pope, just because he died, the Pope, because he didn't get voted out. These people always represented illegal immigration, sneak you into the Catholic Church under the back door, raise the same people who they convinced the country to help because they're so nice.
Yes.
Because we are Catholics, you know. And they're building the schools, they're bringing up the other people around you, and all of a sudden the people they brought into your country are now against you.
But then you have the same thing with some other people.
Absolutely.
Who are considered to be something else.
But name one, sir. No, I agree with you. Trust me, because
they're doing the same exact thing. Building schools, giving out this, giving out that.
Exactly.
But they have an evil motive behind it.
Exactly.
So people are looking to them too.
Exactly. That's why I said name one, because I'll name one for you. I'll name a couple. You remember Oprah? She went to Africa. But, when I say Oprah by herself, that doesn't amount to Catholicism.
Yes.
But this is a religion that was known for slavery and LGBT, put it in a nice way. And they have a lot of issues behind them. And listen, I don't want to knock on Catholicism in the Bahamas, you know what I mean? Because some of the nicest people I ever met in my life were Catholics. Some of the people I ever met.
I think, Carly, you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought your call might have dropped because you went blank a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, the Catholics are very powerful. So
no, they are powerful. Don't underestimate them.
They're the most powerful crew in the world. And I just want to say, I want them to know that I love them like everybody else. But following the Pope, come on now. We got Jesus.
Yes.
Haile Selassie, you Rastafarian. We got Jesus. The Muslim following Muhammad this and Muhammad that, Hindu this. When I say we got Jesus, I don't mean to sound like everybody must follow Jesus. But to us Christians, Jesus fought, and everybody should have a savior from God, which the Pope, the Christians pick as one man, and he just died the other day.
Okay.
Now we in trouble again. But anyway, I had more personal things to talk about him, but it's his birthday tomorrow, and I'll give him a break, and I'll follow up on it next week.
Okay.
But I saw some issues about him as far as racism is concerned that really bothered me. That's why I called in.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you, sir.
Another caller is on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Professor.
Hey, what's happening?
Radio.
Yeah. Sorry about the
Josiah.
wait. Sorry about the wait, but you know,
Josiah.
Josiah. What
You
about
know
Josiah?
him, right?
Who's Josiah?
Josiah was a king over Israel.
Oh. Well, I heard about him. I read about him in the Bible. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And he was in the line of being king at the age of 16,
Okay.
the son of Solomon.
Yes.
The Bible said he was a righteous man, and God have blessed him so much to do wonders. Why bring up his name? Because you always talking about when the righteous is authority.
The scripture
People
says that.
rejoice.
Hold on. The scripture says that now. Don't
Yeah. Well, you're quoting what the scripture say.
Yeah, but that, you got to give credence to the scripture. You know,
Okay,
don't say,
well,
well, professor said it,
okay,
you know, and then people get
okay.
the wrong impression.
No problem.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Just say that.
Yeah.
So, he was a righteous king. But the Bible said, Josiah, he turned his heart away from the Lord. And he went because of his sin. It's by his might and his power what he was doing.
So wait a minute now. At 16, you said
He was king.
he was king, and
Yes.
he began to do what God tell him to do.
He was doing everything down the line, everything. The Bible said there was no other king like Josiah.
Okay.
You see? So, what I'm saying...
No. What happened after that now? Did he turn away from God?
He turned away from God.
But that is possible.
You see? So, my point is, a lot of these men who we see today in our country, they start off good.
Wait, hold on. What you mean they start off good?
They start off humble, doing us what the Lord have said and stuff
No,
like
hold
that.
on. Stop right there. I don't know nothing about that. I've been watching this thing for 52 years, Carla.
Yeah.
I don't know of any such thing. Because if that were happening, then these constituencies in this country would be in better shape.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Carla, are you there?
Where you go?
Mr. Blue, sir, please hang up the caller. You have to change because he's distracted. The point is, Mr. Blue, sir, am I clear now?
I am.
Yeah, but the point is, caller, you know, you seem to have gotten distracted. The thing is, I don't know of any such thing. You use the example of Josiah. He started out right, following God, and then later on in his life, he rebelled against God. That could happen. I don't know of any. That's why I asked the people, do you have a righteous representative? No one has answered yes.
Well,
no one has answered no.
I am not talking about leaders of the country. I'm talking about now pastors and stuff like that.
No, caller, please. You were talking about a king. A king is a ruler.
Yes,
the
he
prime
was a ruler
minister
too,
is
yes.
a ruler. No, hold on now. Let's get the thing right, man. The representative in the House of Assembly is one of the leaders in your country.
Yes.
A parliamentarian.
Yes.
The prime minister and his cabinet, they are rulers.
Yes.
Now, you saying any of them were an example like Josiah when they started out?
Yes.
Like who?
Celinda Penland.
Listen, Celinda is past now, okay? Celinda been gone a long time.
No, you asked me.
Let's talk about those that are here now, caller. Let's not beat around the bush, man. Either we have righteous rulers in cabinet, either we have righteous rulers in House of Assembly, or we don't. Now, no one has been able to tell me whether it is yes or no.
Brave Davis. Since you want to know somebody else today.
Man, stop
Brave
talking
Davis.
foolishness. Stop talking foolishness.
Well, you asked me a question.
Cut him. Talking foolishness and nonsense, man. Come on, man. You see how messed up this country is? Gentlemen, I'm going to run hot today. Brother Hyler, please help me out there. Another caller? She call. I apologize. Because I just can't take this foolishness, man. Anyhow, you never know what you're gonna run into on a given day. Sorry, caller. My apology. Caller, you live on here. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, what's
Good
happening?
afternoon to your guest, and good afternoon, Obama. Just you got a lot of things open, man. I know you want to answer.
Yeah, but the man, Anyhow, let me just leave that.
Yeah, man, Professor. Yeah, you got to calm down. Calm down, Professor. Let's break this.
Yeah, but see, I got two of my guests right in here. They're trying to calm me down now.
Yeah, you got your guest calm me down. Well,
Yeah.
Professor, look at I ain't getting your business, but I always look at things. If it ain't constitutionally sound, I brush it off. I don't be into that.
All right, okay.
If it ain't constitutionally, that's why, hey, I ain't bothering George, you and that gentleman business, but listen, Professor, this is what I choose. If anyone talking and it ain't constitutional, it ain't make sense I be listening to it. I be wasting my time. But let me tell my talk. Let me get my ticket. Professor, listen here. For these politicians who moving around and he ain't got nothing to do, Professor, I gotta say this before I talk. I'll touch some other things.
Yes.
You could fix these roads. You could check these lights, make sure they're working, and you could check
But
see
caller,
if the
let me ask you this: how long are we gonna be fixing roads? They've been fixing roads for 52 years, man.
Yes, Professor. Let me tell you this.
We need more than roads?
Yes, Professor. Guess what, Professor? We need, Professor, listen to me, Professor. These fellas, they don't do nothing. I mean, they just all sitting in the room and don't do nothing. If you don't, and just so much, Professor, this real talk. I try to tell a lot of people, they talk about they ain't on vote. I say, listen, if you ain't on vote, just these people ain't supposed to give you a job and let you do your thing. Don't hold up a damn work. Make sure they fix that camera. Make sure they fix them roads, or make sure they send 4 children to BTI to learn a trade so people don't overtake us. But these fellas, listen, they don't get in the house and they don't do nothing. They just don't sit there and get the money for slack. So okay. I want just me personally, ain't everybody want this. I want the road fixed. I want the cameras working. And I want fire hydrant in my area.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned fire hydrants. I forgot to even mention about that. Thank you, God, for bringing that to my attention. No, we need fire hydrants because we got another caller on the line. Caller, you live on there. Go ahead, please.
Professor, I swear to you, I'll be 2 seconds. Because I heard the gentleman who always inspired me to call. And I know the story with Josiah. And, sir, your outrage when Josiah saw that the musicians of the church were not being paid, he stopped the whole country. And you know the story about him when he saw the one-armed guy, the tones. I know that, but yes. Professor, me and you have to talk in secret. But your outrage was perfect. I don't know. I think you were in the spirit of the Lord, like I am right now. That was outrageous to speak about that man, because if he was the best one who never looked to the right, and he died with this bad name, that could have been fake news about him. But that man was great, and you defended him. You have the words to explain it. I thank you so much for allowing me.
Thank you, Colin. Mm-hmm. Brother Hyla and Brother Cartwright, welcome to the program today. Open Line Friday.
Good day, Professor.
Start with you all.
Yeah, good day, Professor.
Cartwright. Thank you.
We need more people speaking up. Good day, Bahamas. It's good to be here. Producer, Mr. Cartwright. We have a lot of work to do, but we need more action than talk, and
yes.
And we really need to be more serious about the hurt that people are feeling, rather than more ideas. And I mean, the amount of politicians that are on the ground right now knocking on people's doors is amazing, with more promises. Some are in power right now.
Yes.
In a position to make people's lives better.
Make lives better, yeah.
But then we're hearing, vote for me and I'll do something for you. And I'll just end by giving the example of, when it comes to the high cost of living.
Yes.
Well, you have to be grateful that we got a reduction from 12% to 10% on the, on many items at the same time.
No, we heard 12% to 10%. What do you mean? Explain that to me. I don't.
Well, VAT is now 10%.
What?
VAT is now
but that's been
10%.
so for a little while. Yeah.
And on some, some items totally removed. I only brought it up
Wait a minute,
to
you
say
said VAT has been taken off
off
some
of
items?
certain items in certain of the food store bread basket items.
Let me see if I understand you clearly. Are you
Mhm.
saying that VAT has been taken off some basket items or all of them?
Not
Which is it?
not
I'm
all.
not sure.
Some,
Oh, some of them.
yes, some
Okay,
items.
all right, okay. You could continue.
For example, you still have the VAT on prepared food when you go into a restaurant. You're still
Yeah,
paying.
that is true.
You
Yeah,
know,
well, the Prime Minister did mention
and
that.
I only raised the issue because it is very serious for our leader to say, if you back me in the next election, I may do more.
No, this
May.
is what the current
This is what the current,
Prime Minister said.
so I don't want to use any more time, some would say besmirching, but
No, but once, see, Mr. Hyler, once he says it publicly, you're not besmirching anybody's character. If he said it, that's what the man said. So you would be right on target. Now, if you said some other things, but he didn't say, now that's a whole lot of different color. But if he said that publicly and is in the public domain, you could quote him exactly and precisely the way he said it.
I hear you, Professor. We could move on.
Nobody's character.
No, I hear you. We could move on to Mr. Cartwright because I come fresh out of the belly of the community in Angliston and St. Barnabas area where Cartwright is from. So Cartwright knows just what they're talking about. You seeing these things on a daily basis and you feeling the people pain.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how these people can do more with the influence and the power that they have.
But they have
I can't understand it.
They see the people gave
Mr.
them this. But
Good day, Mr. Cartwright.
Right,
yes.
I'll let you come on. But see, the point is the people gave them the power. And they had it in abundance and still have it in abundance. Let me stop. Brother Cartwright, go ahead, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Brother Hyler. I think I heard a little buzz in the background. Sound like I got a caller.
We have a caller.
Yeah, so let's get this call in. Yes.
Okay, thank
you. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good day.
You're doing well.
Good day.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in touch with Professor Thompson.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Uh-huh.
I'm right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Hall. I support the Prime Minister. One perfect, but he been merciful, I think he did a lot.
Like what?
He helped me. I could live. The economy good, the financial economy good right now.
In which way?
Well, they just say that.
Who said it?
Whoever those people are from Moody's or whoever who rates the country.
Professor, could I address that?
Yeah, go ahead. Just it.
Caller, with all due respect, my brother, and there's no contention, there's only love. If you and I speak one-on-one when we get to meet, you'll find that I'll have nothing but help to offer on how I can improve your life myself. I'm just saying that's where I'm coming from.
Well, you could talk to me,
I hear you.
What constituency you running in?
Well, boy, look here. I
can't
say right now. All I can say
is, but no, hold on.
I'll comment. Let me address.
He wants to comment on what you spoke to caller. So give him.
Let me address that, and we'll talk later. But I could say that I just came from the Parliamentary Registrar Department earlier today.
Yeah.
So, but for now, we got to work together. I work with many individuals from many different.
Well, you could get my number and you could call me and we could talk.
Okay, we'll do that. Let me say for now, right? Just so we have this understanding, so you and I can understand where we're going, and the general public. Caller, I want you to know, Moody's, who just gave us an improved grade, said we are up one notch. This is what I need us to understand. Caller, we are 5 levels down in junk status.
Yeah, 5. You ain't gonna find no more Prime Minister like Brave.
No, this ain't about Brave Davis now. This is about us understanding where we at so we can know how to get out of it.
No, but you could set up an appointment so we could talk.
Yeah, because this ain't about Brave Davis and cause us to be where we are, whatever. So
but God caused us to be just a godly country, the PLP of people praying.
Yeah, Now, after we pray, we got to be open and honest because we don't know.
But they
Yeah.
open and honest. The
No.
people, hardly much people complaining the light bill going down.
Okay, caller.
Everything changing.
Caller, one step at a
He
time.
looking out for the poor. Blessed is the man who considers the poor.
No.
You ain't gonna find no more PM like this.
Okay.
We
Thank
hear
you for
you.
your contribution, caller.
We hear you.
Go ahead,
Caller
Brother.
and others. Let me just say.
Address the issue.
We have a lot of work to do. When you say the economy is good and the people upgrade us, I couldn't let that go by because we are 5 levels in junk status. When they brought us up.
Can you explain to the public what this is all about, this junk status?
Okay.
And there's 5 levels. Because I don't think the average woman in Baintown understand that. The average man in Foxville don't understand that. And I'm sure them in my area don't understand it.
Okay.
If you could give more light on it, that would be fine.
Okay. Basically, let me use school grades as an example because we basically understand the grades you would get in school. The Bahamas is still receiving an F. We move from F minus to F plus. That's what just took place.
That ain't no big improvement.
No, that's
nothing.
We are not credit worthy.
No.
We could, get somebody from the central bank or from BICA, the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants, to see, because many professionals are not explaining what's happening in their discipline, in their area and their field of expertise.
Yeah.
And I'm passionate about this because I find myself talking to everyone in every community, trying to find out why are you not saying more about your area?
Yes.
So we could go from finance to the environment.
Yes.
We could go to, to social services. We could go to these different areas. You can, it's so much, but staying on topic. Moody's did improve our outlook, but we are still not investment worthy. We are not worthy of an investor to put money in the Bahamas, and somebody need to take that serious. We are not credit worthy. That's why you can't get money into Grand Bahama, because of the way the nation is being run in secrecy. It is hurting us. When we receive, you talking about, see, Professor, they run to talk about the Moody's upgrade, right?
Oh, yeah, they did.
But did they talk about the Inter-American Development Bank report?
No, they didn't.
You see, they didn't run to say we are number 17 in the region out of 26.
You say remove from F minus to F plus.
That's the equivalent.
What kind of improvement is that?
That's the equivalent of what we're experiencing.
That's nothing.
We are still junk status. Where is the team that is going to...
Explain what junk means.
Junk means junk, garbage.
Okay.
Or the young people would say garbage juice. That is very serious.
You understand that, Bahamians?
You come back after the break.
Junk status means nothing, absolutely nothing. And yet people banging on the table in the House of Assembly talking foolishness. Junk is junk, Bahamians. Is you satisfied with that? This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We're going to a break and we'll be back. Lines are open, 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Keep the Bible on DC Group present the legends of Ray Kids.
Amos, this is open line Friday. We encourage you to call in 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. Amos, we have a whole lot of issues in this country. We have to wait for solutions, man. I'm an individual. I'm interested in solutions to problems. If you could call in today and concentrate on giving suggestions on possible solutions at the constituency level, possible solutions at the national level, we're going to get somewhere with that. But I know some of you would complain, and I'm not saying you shouldn't complain if something is hurting you. I'm not going to say you should not do that. But I believe you have a call on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, how are you?
You all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, I only calling because, I pay for this house. I moved here I moved here in 90.
No, I'm calling. You have to shut your radio off because I'm getting a feedback.
Okay.
Can you shut it off completely?
Okay. I moved in 1990, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I lose more stuff in this house and I pay for the house.
You lose more stuff
Then
in the house than you pay for the house. My
Yes,
Lord.
sir.
That's a big loss.
I have proof and I can show you if you come here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So I want to call them just because they don't have no flood in their house. They still need a call.
No, but I think, caller, I believe everybody in Pinewood is being affected by the flooding.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, you state your cause, and I have no problem with you stating it. But I have always said to people, one person can start the fire. You start the spark, and it could grow.
Yes, sir.
If the people in Pinewood Gardens sit on their backsides, as they have done for some, you said 35 years you were there, 32 years? 32 years, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you were not the only one being affected by it.
Yes,
and this
I
is
know
what
that.
people need to understand. It is a constituency problem, man.
Yes, sir.
And if the
and
people...
nobody helping us.
Yeah, but hold on now. Hold on. Just hold on a bit, man. Because see, people don't seem to understand. Article 24(1) of your Constitution. When it takes the collective will of a people to get something done and people sitting on their backsides doing nothing, it frustrates me. And the Constitution says I am not supposed to be frustrated.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And it's frustrating you too. You said you lost more than what you pay for the house.
Yes, sir.
That's a big loss. How many
lot of
others in Pinewood Garden are going through the same problem that you're going through? The question is...
Stop all that and lose in here. I don't even want to do that because I did before all that and lose, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I tried to put back. So I tried to buy new stuff now. I buy nothing back no more for a little while.
Yes, ma'am.
Till I can get this whole solved.
Yes, ma'am.
Even the windows they put in there, they no good. They can't even open up.
Okay. So you see with the kind of predicament we're in, and yet people are sitting back doing nothing. This is what makes it so bad. So people continue to suffer in that community or that constituency because the people in Pinewood Gardens haven't come to realize we need to collectively come together to take action. But nothing has happened in 32 years.
Nothing. I ain't see nothing happen. I ain't see.
Caller, I'm not saying you shouldn't try to do what you can do, and that's understandable. But the problem is not going anywhere because it's going to sit right there for the next 32 years until the people decide, listen, we've got to clear this crap out of the way.
Yes, sir.
And that's what the people in Pinewood Garden, not only the people in Pinewood Garden, but people in Centerville, the people in Fox Hill, the people in other areas having different problems that affect the entire constituency. And I get upset when I see people sitting in the muck and complaining all the time, but not coming together on the ground. People say, Professor, you're doing a good show. I say, but that's not good enough, man. Hearing me speak on the airwaves and talking about the issues, that's one point. What are you prepared to do about it collectively? Now, that's what people need to understand.
Yes, sir.
This has been going that way for 52 years, man. Do we understand how serious this is?
Yes, Professor, all you do is sit here and just listen to you.
Well, I appreciate
And
people
I try my
listening.
best to see what all I can do because, I'm a pensioner and that ain't nothing much.
Yes, but
Because everything going up now. Everything going up.
that's what I'm saying. That's all the more for people on the ground in the different constituencies to consider their situation, knowing you're a pensioner and you have very limited money to work with, and you've already lost more than you pay for the house.
Yes, sir. I can tell you that. I ain't gonna lie.
All I can say is, Bahamians, this is not a job for one particular person or even a small group of people. In a given constituency where there's a constituency-wide problem, it takes 51% or more of the people, and let me say this while it's in my head, 51% or more of the people living in Pinewood Gardens have to become righteous in their dealings one with another.
And
Then the
Pinewood,
constituency is headed for progress.
and Pinewood is a big area, sir. Big area.
I know. Yeah, you're quite right. But you see, the thing is, if the people in Pinewood Gardens, and this applies to any other constituency, so I'm not knocking on Pinewood Gardens, but I'm happy that you call to talk about your situation in Pinewood Gardens. And hopefully this will shake the people up, man. And I'm going to tell them, no, let me just speak this. I'm going to tell them right now, if you ain't sure how to organize, just call Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. And I'll show you how to do it constitutionally. It's in your constitution, but you don't even know your constitution. So that's the problem again. And when you don't know, because I was talking to two people last Saturday. No, it's more than two. I think it was a couple of people. And they don't have an inkling about the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. And I just had to listen to the crap coming out of their mouth, man. I had to relax myself and say, Jesus, Lord have mercy. You mean to tell me our people are so dense? Very dense.
Yes, sir.
How the hell we get like this? And then someone called on my shoulder,
Anyhow,
talking foolish.
Professor,
But
thank
no,
you for
I
taking my
appreciate
call,
you
okay?
calling, and we're going to see what we can do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all the best. See, Bahamians, this is what I keep saying to you. Here's a woman from Pinewood Gardens having lost more than what she paid for the house that she's in. I mean, how much more loss you want to take? She's a pensioner. And the pension money is very small. That can't go very far. This woman needs a lot of help. And you people in Pinewood Gardens can help her by coming collectively to deal with the flooding problem in Pinewood Gardens. I don't know why you want to sit in the muck for more than 30 years. Come on, man. And plenty of you have lost a whole lot. You think pinning up your mouth is going to stop the losses? No, they can keep mounting up. You let some rain come now in Pinewood. Y'all going to wait till the ground crack under you? Because there are some people who live further east having flooding in their area. They didn't have it before, but it's happening now. And they ain't in Pinewood. So what are you going to do about it, Bahamians? We keep sitting back doing nothing. And I get very frustrated over that. Knowing that you have a problem, understanding you have a problem, and you do nothing about it. Come on, Bahamians, we got to do better than this. Let me stop. Brother Cartwright, go ahead, please.
Professor, I don't know if we got a caller or...
No, we don't have a caller.
We got two callers. I think let's get those callers in.
We have two callers on the line, Mr.
Two
Producer?
callers.
Okay.
And then I'll go to the Facebook and then I'll make my...
okay, no problem.
entrance.
Okay, well, thank you, brother. Hi. I'm
Yes.
Cartwright.
Go ahead, caller.
Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
go ahead, sir.
Hey, good day.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah. Now, my question is, remember about a month ago or so, there was this Bahamas Air flight that went to Haiti with some baggage handlers who carried over $100,000 when the master carrying is like $10,000. But we ain't know who these two people are, if they're Haitian or Bahamian. And so they use some Bahamas Air to be carrying these money to. We don't know what it's for. We're paying for human trafficking, drugs. We don't know what
Where were
it's
they
for.
caught? Where were they caught with this money, caller?
I beg your pardon?
Where was it reported that they were caught with this money?
At Haiti, the Haitian police to get them, and
in Haiti, okay.
they got away. and go on and run on the plane and come to Nassau. And the government ain't really say nothing more about that.
I know I heard something on the air.
Huh?
I heard something on the air.
Caller, you're correct.
No, man. There's
nothing been said.
I beg your pardon?
There's nothing being said because
you ain't think America watching that.
Wait, hold on, caller, just a minute. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. Are you saying that some people from Haiti left Haiti with money, 100,000 plus or whatever?
No, what I'm saying is, right, two persons who were probably like working for Bahamas there as I guess baggage handlers or whatever, right?
Yes.
They went into Haiti and delivered $100,000 and they got caught and they ran on the plane and came to Nassau, and the Haitian authorities basically saying they wanted them to come back or something, but everything all hush quiet, man. Hush quiet.
Well,
what Bahamas there keep going over there for and thing in the country in turmoil.
But what I basically understand of that story was that it was a flight attendant, actually
a flight attendant, exactly.
And
two flight attendants to be
the persons that got caught in Haiti, and one of the flight attendants managed to get back on the plane. And they came home, and once the news broke, the authorities were saying that they're investigating to find out who the individuals are. So my first summation to it was that I live in a community where there's a lot of people of Haitian descent and Haitians. And one thing I learned is that they don't give money to non-Haitians to carry home.
Okay.
If anything, it's going to be another Haitian. So that was the second thing in my mind. Is the individual who working on Bahamas Air, are they really citizens of the Bahamas, or are they those persons who were given documents to claim that they are Bahamians?
Okay, Mr. Cartwright, I need to get clarity on this because I'm still a little confused. The money left New Providence to go into Haiti.
Was it Haiti? It was taken to Haiti.
Was it in Haiti? Who took it to Haiti?
The flight attendant. The flight attendant.
The flight attendant left New Providence to go to Haiti.
She was on a flight, took the money to two individuals in Haiti.
Uh-huh.
The police bust them in Haiti for this large amount of money.
Okay.
She happens to get away and got onto the plane.
Uh-huh.
The plane returned to Nassau.
Okay.
But the authorities only recognized that, yes, we did have a report that there was a bus for this substantial amount of money.
Right.
And a female flight attendant escaped the authorities in Haiti and escaped the authorities here because they say that the individual's on the run. So we basically have this individual who took money out of the country.
Right.
Into Haiti.
Yes.
And apparently they got caught and she managed to get back onto the plane.
Okay.
And returned home. And right now, no one knows where she's at.
Well, don't we know who's waiting on Bahamas Air flight?
That's the problem. They say they're investigating.
Who's investigating?
That is what the police is saying.
For crying out loud. Give
me
a break, man.
For us, who in the public, we're trying to figure out, listen, we know Haitians are not going to give money to a Bahamian to carry for something else.
Okay.
They're going to have someone they know themselves or someone of that ilk. And like you said, we know Bahamas Air keeps saying that Haiti is their biggest profit. And we try to figure out how.
Yeah, okay. So this particular personality who took the money there was a flight attendant?
Yes.
Well, then they should know who the heck it is. What are they talking about?
Nobody's talking.
Jesus, Lord.
Even though we have all of this technology.
I don't understand
all this technology with being able to read phone records, emails, video surveillance,
and all of that.
Yeah.
The call is still on the line, right?
Hello.
All
of this, it's still disturbing because
it's very disturbing. I'm happy that he called it, brought it up.
This is now gone almost 2 to 3 months since
Wait a minute now. 2 to 3 months. Anyhow, boy, I almost say something I shouldn't say.
And I'm serious because when that broke, it was like a rumor until the police basically confirmed it. Okay, we have the next caller.
Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Cartwright.
Yeah, Cartwright.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
The other, Bob Jack and now.
No, it's only two.
Hyla. No, Hyla here.
Yeah. The bottom isn't in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hyla.
Yeah.
Good day.
I'm happy I stumbled across
the last caller and the fact that Professor and you all want to know who this person is who took this money or who got away. The biggest concern I got is through all of this turmoil in Haiti, what are we still doing flying there?
That's a good question.
I'll hang up and listen to y'all respond.
Okay, thank you, caller.
Bahamas Air saying that Haiti is their biggest cash revenue right now. I don't know why, but that's what they're claiming. So for me, in a country
So what are these Haitians coming here for? To do what?
we don't even know what it is all about because
They're family here and they're doing business.
No.
Speculation.
What kind of business?
You got all kinds of speculation
say
because we now having, it's been reported now, we've got 3 members of the passport office arrested for fraudulent passports. Now, these ordinary
fraudulent passports?
Yeah.
Fraudulent passports.
So when you started to think about it, the money mark moving back and forth means that it's big business. Something is going on underground in this country that the law itself don't seem to have a hand on. And that's all facets of the law, whether it's immigration, whether it's the passport office, whether it's the police department and drugs. I think we got a caller.
Yeah.
Let's take this caller.
All of you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, yeah. Are you calling back? Yeah, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that ain't hard to figure out, the person they wait for Bahamas there.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. You mean to tell me that the person's supposed to be a flight attendant, we don't know who the, anyhow. That particular personality is?
And everything.
I mean, what are we saying? And this happened, Mr. Halley? No, Mr. Halley. Cartwright. You said 3 months ago?
That was a couple of months
ago or so.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And and that's why I'm glad he brought it up because
no, I'm happy that he brought it up.
No,
because I didn't know it was that long.
You were hearing nothing from the police. All they said they're looking into it.
Looking into what?
Like, these people wait for Bahamas here.
If it was a know the declaration is.
Yeah.
$10,000, over $10,000 you can't carry. They know that.
Yeah.
They smuggle in, and you know what?
Yeah.
That's Bahamas, they are national flag carrier.
They caught another individual leaving ready to leave the Bahamas with over excess of $10,000. It was another Haitian national.
Yeah.
So it's like, hold on now. One incident might be a coincidence, but 2, where you now having this large sum of money being moved about out of the country. And I said, listen, I know Haitian people. Haitians will not give anybody their money unless you be one of them. That's how they are. So I'm saying to myself, how is it that a Haitian national, because that's all it could be working for Bahamas here,
yes,
and to be allowed to become a flight attendant, and to be flying and working, transferring money. So to me, it is not a small thing for us.
No, that's not a small thing.
It tells me that there's a racket going on.
That's a scam on Bahamas there.
It is on the nation, yes.
There's a big racket because it can't be a small racket.
They're not going to stop it and tell I think the Americans are going to put the foot down and they can stop it because
that's the thing.
This nonsense, very even that's what I'm saying that
Bahamas
is the
biggest. Hold on, Brother Cartwright. Only one of y'all could talk at the same time. Go ahead, caller.
Haiti is the biggest market, right? But nobody is going before the pandemic.
But what are the Haitians doing when they come here, man?
Taking over. Listen here.
We don't know.
Are they returning back to Haiti? Do we have return flights?
Y'all listening?
We don't know.
Y'all listening to the caller?
Yeah. They have done the return for they here to take over.
So caller, listen, caller, slow down a bit, please, because I want to understand this. See, according to what Cartwright said, that's supposed to be the biggest market for Bahamas Air. We ought to know what these Haitians are coming here for. That's point number 1. Are these people returning back to Haiti? How long are they staying? And are they getting back to Haiti?
We don't know.
Getting back.
You mean Bahamas, they don't have any records on that?
We
this
don't
Hotel
know.
California, man. Check in anytime they like it. Don't never leave. Hey, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Before the pandemic, you realize that Bahamas, their hub was Haiti. Haiti was a hub. I read online, right? Flights to America, all over America. Bahamas there, Bahamas there, Bahamas there, Bahamas there. The new jet they just purchased, right? We think they get that for. What do you think they get that for? That'll be all up in Haiti. That's what they get. You see, we got it wrong in this country. There's already too many, ain't hating nobody, too many Haitians in this country. Haitians know that they sell. Haitians, look at them barbecue and them talk. They say it straight, man. They don't want no kind of person who innovation in their country. And they know let's say some people wasting that, right? They just come and live what they want. But they want to come live amongst us and other people and have their way, talking in their tongue, ain't conforming to nothing, and just want to do what they want to do. And then who carry the blame? Bahamians, because our authorities say give them our passport. Huh? What's more wicked than that? And when Bahamians want to get their passport renewed, taking like 6, 7, 8 years to get renewed. And I tell you, because I know that's what they do to me. All right? And I born here a long time. That's why this foolishness got to stop.
How long you said it took your passport to be renewed?
It took me like 6, 7 years.
6, 7 years to get a new. Wait a minute. To get a new passport?
For me to get my passport renewed.
So what reason they gave you for that?
Beg your pardon?
What reason did they give you?
No, my name, I vehicle between my mother and daddy name, My mom, between my mother and dad, my name been back and forth.
Okay.
All right? And on record, it's like that. And they give me they put me to the ringer. I literally had to go get my grandfather, my grandmother name, and my mother name criticized.
Okay.
All right, well, hey, this nonsense of the stuff in the country.
Okay, Carla, thank you for your contribution. I had to wait that long to get my own renewed. Maybe there are some other situations. No, but it ain't never took me that long.
No, what happened to him was that because maybe his mother and father weren't married, and at one point he had his father's name, and another point he had his mother's name.
Well, no, that's
but still,
the
it should not even take that long.
But he say,
because if he took in both of their birth certificate and showing that their names are on his birth certificate, they could have, and he had to go with his grandfather.
That's what he
still
said.
not up to take them 7 years. Yeah. But at that passport office, there are times they be very facetious.
Okay.
They can be very hard on people.
But the car writing have to stop it because the music is in the background. This is Professor Sidney McGardo Waldron. You never know when you come to do this show what's going to happen on a given day. But this is an exciting day today. The lines are open 3260271, 3260272, 8130271. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this. Calling
My producer is going to play a tape from, I think, Bishop of the Catholic Church. What's it, Bishop? Oh, Bishop Patrick Pender. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
The church has 9 formal days of mourning. And during that time, again, the body of cardinals who have gathered, they continue in daily meetings called general congregations, taking care of the official business of the church that has to be taken care of on a regular basis. And 15 days after the death of the Pope, they have the conclave. And the conclave is where the cardinals who are cardinal electors go to elect the new Pope. Now, there are about 252 cardinals in the world. Of them, only about 130 some actual cardinal electors, and they'd be the ones who would be allowed into the conclave to elect the Pope.
Okay, I think I got a little more clarity the second time listening to it. You say cardinal electors, persons eligible to elect the new Pope.
Yeah.
I wish you would have explained the difference between the other cardinals, because all of them are cardinals. I don't know why all of them cannot participate in electing the new Pope. I don't understand why that is the case, but that's according to what the bishop is saying. Any comments, gentlemen?
No. I don't understand the Catholic faith.
That process.
All I know is that in observance that if the cardinals in their first round of selection,
yes,
they call it a white smoke and a black smoke.
Right.
If it's a white smoke, means that they unanimously elected a pope, the new pope, in their first voting.
Now, no, it wouldn't. Would it have to be unanimous? All 130 something have to agree on it, or
I don't know what's the majority ratio is, but I know that they say that if the pope, after the ballots are collected and counted, if he has the new pope who they selected, if he has a majority, they set up a white smoke.
Oh, if he has a majority, okay.
If not, they set up a black smoke, which means that they have to go back to the conclave and vote again until they come up with a new pope.
Yeah. So, I believe we had another explanation to this. I don't think the bishop gave us enough to really work with, but I think if Mr. Producer could find it, and if we have time, we could put it on air today.
Maybe someone in the audience who knows who's a Catholic, how their process.
Yeah, but if someone could call into it, because I don't think enough clarity was given on the tape from the bishop. Yeah. But Mr. Producer, I don't know if you could find that tape we heard the other day about electing a pope.
I think we might have
have it? Okay. Well, see if you could line it up for us before the show ends. Okay. Is it ready? Okay. Do we have a call on the line now? Okay. But play that for us, please, so we could have a little bit more clarity. Now, that was more about the election. So, gentlemen, do you have any comment on that?
No comments.
Okay, the only thing I noticed with that is they said Cardinals, only Cardinals under the age of 80. That's the understanding I got. The bishop said 133 can vote, but he didn't clarify what age grouping they had to be in. But according to this tape now, we get the Cardinals under the age of 80. Now, I don't know why that is so, because you have, I guess it's a part of their ancient system that they have these individuals come in and teach the College of Cardinals coming into to elect a new pope. Well, and then they're locked into this particular location. They call it a conclave, and they have no contact with the outside world, and they're not allowed to get to anybody, because when they finish their work in the day, they go to their sleeping quarters right there.
And they said you could be excommunicated.
Yeah, you could be put out. Yeah,
out of the church.
Yeah.
If you give any information on what they're doing.
Yeah, that is very serious business. Okay, so they don't play. They're not playing. I think confidentiality is very important in this particular issue. Okay. Any comments, gentlemen?
Well, I see a similarity between how we do business here in the Bahamas too. A part of it, I would say, serious. Don't mind me joking around. I joke around a lot.
Ain't nothing supposed to be serious when it comes to government business.
Well, I joke around sometimes just so I can feel a little better myself, so I don't go crazy.
Oh, okay.
Because
everything's supposed to be open.
Professor, they have a conclave in Rome.
Yeah.
We have a conclave in the Westminster system. They have a conclave, which is a meeting. It's a private meeting. It's a closed meeting to make certain decisions.
Yes.
They also have a quorum, which is a certain amount of votes for a certain matter.
Yeah. And
we've said this before, Professor. A part of the reason why they vote in secret is that nobody knows. And this may not be constitutional, because if I'm in a particular constituency, if my representative votes no on a matter and everybody else vote yes, I never get to know that my representative was looking out for me.
Okay.
He said no to a particular measure. But the vote goes through. When they come out of that secret meeting, Professor, they all vote the same way. That's the rule. That's the way we do our business. The way the Prime Minister and you could say party, even though we're not supposed to be looking at party, inside the Parliament, whatever the leader directs, that's what happens. If the Prime Minister votes yay, everybody votes yay.
That's not parliamentary.
But it's party. That's what we vote for.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem in our country when we do that. But I understand what was said about the Pope. You write a name. There's a blank space to write a name.
Yeah.
And they will just put them in the urn, and then they would count the vote.
And then they'd burn them.
No, they would burn them. So you don't really know who voted for that particular personality.
Right.
Because your name is not traced to that particular individual. Right. That's a good way of doing it. I mean, there's no repercussion.
They don't have a trace. So let's use this. Yeah. Let's use this opportunity, Professor.
Yeah, okay.
Every voter in the Bahamas is voting on a traceable ballot. You can trace. You know who vote FNM, and you know who vote PLB.
But who knows that?
The government knows it. Because they give you a ballot that's marked. They have a number on that.
Yes, that is true.
Now, is that constitutional?
Well, let's put it this way. There could be a dispute in an election. As far as I understand it, maybe I need to do a little bit more research. As far as I understand, the court, the elections court have to deal with it. If there's a dispute in election, they have to go and dig up those ballots. Outside of that, they're not supposed to be tampering with those ballots.
You see what Mr. Trump is doing over in America? Mr. Trump is targeting people who are not in line with his view.
But that is true. And that's why people vex with him.
You know, they're supposed to tell you we didn't have a chance to talk about. The FBI arrested a judge.
Yes, I
And
heard that.
you heard that?
Yeah, yes,
For
I heard that.
obstruction. Now, my question to you,
But-
teacher: who is obstructing what?
Well, the judge is
God,
wrong.
right. What you think
Judge was wrong.
in that particular case?
Yes. You assist
Mhm.
an illegal
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I understood.
to evade
Evade justice.
Justice.
immigration.
Yeah, that's what came on the news to
And
me
that's-
today.
There's no
Yeah.
recourse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is just like if you now facilitating
Mhm.
false documents for migrants
For
in
migrants.
the Bahamas.
Mhm.
See, when it comes to sovereignty of a nation, we're going to start looking at all aspects from judges, poison in the passport office, immigration, and even people who sign off as JPs
Questions on the immigration
Yeah.
board.
and JPs too. Some of these, because a lot of these, one time ago, a JP had to get someone out of the community with impeccable record.
That is true, yes.
Yeah.
But that ain't
Watered
so today.
down to the point where
Watered
now
right down.
everybody, because of the political party you support, it gives you a JP.
Mhm.
They make you a JP. That is not what the JP was. Because
That is true.
people don't understand that the JP is a lay magistrate. A
It
JP,
is
can,
in the law, yeah.
a JP can have you arrested.
Mhm.
A JP can sit on the bench and preside over legal matters.
Yes.
So when you just pick up any, like I say, Tom, Dick, and Harry,
Right.
and give them that authority,
Mhm.
you're watering down the system.
That is correct.
And so basically, you now open up the system to
All kinds of things.
kind. And this is what I think Trump said. But before I go on to the Trump, I want to read some of these.
Yes, sir.
I
Go ahead,
see-
Brother
I know-
Cartwright.
You see why we can get out of this mess. We in the caller say that we did for him, and that all important as him selfish because they're getting crumbs. The Jamaica Bay, Royal Caribbean generates more revenue in our country than the Bahamas government. Jamaican knows the Bahamas is getting run like primary school tuck shop. Those runs on again. The junk bond means that they're borrowing money and get the Bahamian paying taxes. And they're paying down only on the interest rates on the debt that is insanely not accountable of the public funds. That's why we are dumb status. Edward said, when you are paid for to say anything, you would. Only thing the PM did was spend our money at will. And he did it for him, not the Bahamas. He do. The People's Conversation he directs Professor Mr. Island in the spirit today. God bless the spirit. Waiting for Mr. Carter.
I didn't catch that. What's that?
They say the Pope's Conversation today directs the professor, Mr. Hyder, and the spirit today. They put it as a question. God bless the spirit. Ready from the government don't want to manage the public funds properly. The government can pay 800 million a year on debt reduction. Legal million, plenty of the funds have been borrowed is being misappropriated and mismanaged. Jermaine knows the biggest problem in all constituencies, the government don't want the members' interests to get involved financially. And again, the constituency fund would deal with issues like primary. Timmy Wood, Jamaica Bay Board Administration brought 1.5 to 2 billion every 5 years. Then every year, 2022, the government could collect 2.8 to 3 billion in tax every year. So why they still borrowing $2.2 billion every 5 years? Timmy Wood, money should borrow for investments and profits used for infrastructure. To be able to make a being, you don't believe that government can get 4.5 billion in taxes. In the next 6 months, the government will collect 2.8 billion in taxes. They would get another 1.7 billion in extra taxes. The Jamaica Bay DFC no tangible advancement of the country, all the billions being borrowed by successive governments to make it pay. We need a government that not solely rely on taxes for various revenue. We need a government to create new revenue streams and not be heavily reliant on tourism. Typical. Both administrations borrowed all types of money, and no accountability has been shown by both administrations. Typical. The Miko pay the only way on an independent candidate can get 8 billion in constituency funding outside of the government constituency funding. The candidate have to go to every door to go and find 6,000 households in the constituency. That can give $120 a month to go towards a constituency development and management.
Okay, we're gonna have to stop it right there because I hear the music in the background. Brother Hyler, I'll give you a last point.
Professor, I was reading through Gowan Bo, one of our senior finance men.
Yeah.
He was the one. I put links in Facebook. If anybody wants to look for it, you can look for Dwayne Hyler. And on Facebook, you can look for a link to the story. We still have 4 upgrades to go. 4 upgrades to go before we begin making sense. And it's been about 18, almost 20 years we've been in the state. By comparison, and I always say, jokingly, I need to get more serious about all of this. Mr. Cartwright's cousin, who happens to be the premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, he has led the Turks and Caicos Islands. In March, their rating was A-, Professor. You hear me? A-. The quote, a commitment to fiscal prudence, managing the money properly, instead of all of this nonsense we've been hearing for years. And the other one is close institutional ties with the United Kingdom. I close off right there. We don't want investigation from the National Crime Agency of London.
Okay.
And I'll knock on their door the day after election. If the small man wins in this country, if the spirit of Finland rises again in this nation, we'll be knocking on the door of the United Kingdom the following day, having a meeting to tie the United Kingdom organizations, especially the criminal investigation organizations. We will work hand in hand with them, just like the Turks and Caicos Islands. This is how you reform a community.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think we can have to close now. This is Professor Sidney McGarvey, Thompson. We got a whole lot of problems in this place. We're going to have to do something about it. Save the Base is coming on after we get off air. So listen to Save the Base coming out of Grand Bahama. This is Professor Sidney McGarvey Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant weekend. And of course, I'll be back on Monday. Thank you very much.
Global 99.5 FM.